I, 48, am a software engineer, and for the last 5 years, I've been with my partner. She has 2 kids from her previous marriage, a son and a daughter. I thought things were okay, not perfect, but we were building a life. I guess I was the only one building. The whole thing blew up on a random Tuesday. I'd made pasta. We were all at the table, and W just drops this bomb on me between bites of garlic bread. "Oh, by the way," she says, not even looking up, "the kids don't see you as their dad. Just so, you should probably just accept it." I just sat there, fork halfway in my mouth. 5 years. 5 years of driving them to soccer practice, helping with algebra homework that's basically a foreign language now, sitting through mind-numbing school plays. 5 years of paying for braces, summer camps, and anything else they needed. And this is the memo I get, not in a serious talk, but like she was telling me we were out of milk. It wasn't even what she said that hit me the hardest. It was how she said it, like my feelings were a complete non-factor. Something inside me just snapped, not in an angry way, but in a cold, clear way. The fog I didn't even know I was in just vanished. All those times I felt like an outsider, a walking ATM. It all clicked into place. I put my fork down and said, "Finally, clarity." She looked up, surprised. "What?" "Thank you," I said, my voice totally flat, "for the clarity." The next morning, I got to work. First, I went online to my company's benefits portal. A few clicks later, S and D were no longer on my health and dental insurance. That alone was a huge monthly expense I just absorbed as part of the family package. Next up was the big one, their private school tuition. It was insanely expensive, something W insisted on, because she didn't like the local public schools. I'd always paid it directly from my account. I called my lawyer, L, who I keep on retainer for my consulting work. I explained the situation. She was blunt. "Are you their legal father? Have you adopted them?" "No on both counts." "Then you have zero legal obligation to pay for their schooling or anything else of that matter." L drafted a formal letter to the school's finance office, CCNGW, stating that as of that day, I would no longer be responsible for the tuition payments for S and D. I sent it via certified mail. The fallout was immediate. My phone started blowing up with texts from W. I was a monster. I was being cruel. I was trying to ruin her kids' lives to get back at her. Then came the voicemails, a mix of screaming and fake crying. I didn't answer a single one. I just screenshotted the text, saved the voicemails, and forwarded everything to L. A couple of days later, I got a text from S. "Hey, Mom said you took us off your insurance and aren't paying for school anymore. What's up with that?" What's up with that? The casual entitlement was stunning. I texted back, "Your mother was very clear about my role in your lives. I have adjusted my financial commitments to reflect that role." His reply, "That's not fair. We're going to have to leave our school." I typed, "That is a matter for you to discuss with your mother." Then the real games began. About a week later, I came home from work to find W sitting on my couch. She'd used her old key. I know, I should have changed the locks, but it was one of those things that I just hadn't gotten around to. "We need to talk," she said, trying to sound calm and reasonable. "No, we don't. And you need to give me my key back," I said, standing by the door. "You can't just do this," she said, her voice starting to crack. "They're just kids. They don't know what they're saying. They look up to you." The whiplash was incredible. Last week you told me to accept they don't see me as a dad. Now they look up to me? Which is it, W? Or does it just change based on whether or not my wall is open? She started to cry for real this time. I made a mistake. I was stressed. "Please, I can't afford that school on my own. You know that. Don't punish the kids for my mistake." "This isn't a punishment," I said, my voice still cold. "It's a consequence. You wanted clarity. You got it. Now I need that key." She threw it on the coffee table and stormed out, slamming the door. The next morning, I found 2 of my car's tires were flat. Both had clean punctures in the sidewall. No proof, of course, but the timing was a little too perfect. I filed a police report, had them replaced, and installed a full security camera system around my house that day. Then she tried to mess with my job. My HR department called me in for a meeting. Someone had filed an anonymous complaint, accusing me of creating a hostile work environment and sending inappropriate communications to a female colleague. It was complete garbage. I have a stellar record. And the colleague they named was a good friend who was horrified and immediately went to bat for me. The investigation was over in 2 days, but the stress and humiliation were the entire point. I knew it was W. L advised me to document this as well, as it was forming a pattern of harassment. Things went quiet for a bit. I figured she was out of ideas. Then I got a certified letter from her new lawyer. It was a demand letter. She was demanding I pay the remaining tuition for the school year and retroactively reinstate the kids on my insurance, claiming I had established a pattern of support and pulling it was causing emotional and financial distress. I just scanned it and emailed it to L. L laughed when she called me. "This is a desperate Hail Mary," she said. "He knows he has no case. He's just hoping to scare you into paying. Don't worry, I'll handle it." L sent back a letter that basically said pound sand in professional legal terms, and also mentioned that we were documenting a pattern of harassment, including the slashed tires and the bogus HR complaint, and would be prepared to file for a restraining order if her client's actions continued. That seemed to shut down the direct attacks. But it wasn't over. One Saturday, my doorbell rang. It was S and D. They looked incredibly awkward. "Can we come in?" S asked. I let them in, and we all stood in the living room. "Look," S started. "We're sorry." D nodded, not making eye contact. "Yeah, sorry. Mom told us to tell you that," D mumbled. So quietly I almost didn't hear it. S shot her a look. "No, I mean, we really are. It's just, Mom has been going crazy." He pulled out his phone. "You should probably see this." He showed me his mom's Facebook page. For the last 2 weeks, she had been on a nonstop tirade. She never used my name, but it was obviously me. She wrote long, rambling posts about her narcissistic, controlling ex who was financially abusing her and her children by cutting them off out of spite. She claimed I'd only been with her to look like a good guy and that I was trying to ruin her life now. She made up lies about my job, implying I was unstable. Friends and family were all commenting with, "OMG, you're so strong," and "what a monster." It was a full-blown public smear campaign. My blood ran cold. This wasn't just petty harassment anymore. This could affect my career. "She's telling everyone we might have to move because of you," Dee said, her voice shaking a little. "That we'll be homeless." I looked at these 2 kids, who were caught in the middle of their mother's war. "Your mother is not going to be homeless," I said, calmly. "She's being dishonest with you and with everyone else." I made a decision right there. I thanked him for showing me. The next morning, I sent all the screenshots to L. This time, L's tone was dead serious. "This is libel per se," she said. "She's making false statements that directly harm your professional reputation. We're no longer on the defensive." L drafted a cease and desist letter that was a work of art. It detailed every defamatory post with dates and screenshots. It outlined the potential damages to my career and reputation. It stated that if the posts weren't permanently deleted from all platforms within 24 hours and a public retraction posted, we would be filing a lawsuit for defamation seeking significant monetary damages. We sent it to her lawyer, and for good measure, to W directly via courier, so we knew she got it. Less than 12 hours later, every single post was gone. The next day, a new post appeared on her page. "I would like to publicly apologize for my recent posts regarding my former partner. My emotions got the better of me, and I made statements that were untrue and unfair. I regret any harm this has caused." It was clearly written by a lawyer, but it was there. The war was over. W never contacted me again. I heard through the grapevine she had to sell her car and move them into a smaller apartment to afford to stay in the same school district, though they did end up in public school after the semester ended. S and D sent me a text on my birthday and on Christmas. It's not warm, but it's not hostile either. It's just quiet. I got the clarity I was promised, just not in the way anyone expected. So yeah, if your partner ever gives you the gift of clarity, make sure you send a thank you card. And if you enjoyed this story, you know what to do. My lawyer's bills aren't going to pay themselves.